Dude, that Rubik's Cube is like the Rubik's Cube that you buy if you want people to think you're smart, but you're totally not smart.
It's silver on all sides, so I don't think it can be solved and displayed the same way as a
It's not the right shapes of the
six-colored
blocks.
Rubik's Cube. Yeah, it doesn't appear that you can turn it in every angle, even.
Oh, my God.
We were having some fun with that during the rehearsal. So we have rain in the upper right and light in the bottom left. Now, this is a one-on-one map. There are specific cheeses you can do in a one-on-one map, especially some pretty nasty ones with Protoss. And we have a probe being sent out before. Is this before the first pylon, or is he going to make this at his natural? No, he's going to send it out right away. So this should be a gas steal.
Yeah, yeah. And in these spots, gas steal is really good because the gas is kind of facing the outside. It's very, very difficult to stop them from doing it. And I think what he'll do probably is a gateway in main base with this. That's really good.
It seems like
it's hard to cheese against this.
All one-on-one maps in StarCraft 1 have one gas geyser that points towards the entrance and another that doesn't point towards it except for destination, in which case they're both on the top.
Yeah.
I've always been a little bit surprised by that because with being able to come in, and by the way, that's why this SCV comes out, is to see if he can get a glimpse of this ahead of time. Is he going to get it in time? He will not.
Yeah, that's actually...
This is actually quite bad
a little bit
for Light.
sad, yeah, because he literally, like you said, sent that SCV out to see if this was going to happen, and maybe it came just slightly too quick. We saw his minerals were not quite there. Now, there's... here's the funny thing, right? Offensive gas... Don't tell other Protosses this, but when you offensive gas, if you're also proxy gating or something, that's actually, in my opinion, what Terran wants.
Really?
Yeah, because you can do things like go 2 gateway against that, or two barracks, sorry, and actually get out and do some damage, right? You can push out and kind of screw them up. Whereas in a situation like this where the gateway's in the main base, your gas is just stolen, that's it. And anything to stop ranged Dragoons from hitting a bunker is so late. It's so far away, and this is a flat map, right? So no matter what, they are just going to have ranged Dragoons at your door really quickly, and there's not a lot of recourse. Like, you could try to build a second barracks and rush them, but, I mean, unless you already have an SCV on the map near their base to build that second racks, it's probably not going to work. It's too far of a travel distance. You can't punish anything that they've done. It's a very strong... As far as offensive gas goes, in my opinion, this is the strongest way to do it.
So you don't like the proxy gateway into gas, and then because you're delaying them, is it just that the cost of the pylon in the gateway adjacent to the main causes too much catch-up time?
That means they're going to be making zealots, right? And here they're forcing you to make marines, and and you're going to have a good SimCity no matter what. Now, so you have a lot of options. You're going to defend against those zealots, whereas if they are doing a more moderate build like this, then... You know, they have a lot more options. Like, for instance, he sees his probe was there. He sees there's no second barracks or anything. He can actually just go into a nexus, and you can't do anything about it, you know?
Yeah.
So it gives Protoss a lot more options, in my opinion, whereas the other one, you're just trying to kill someone that's not good.
So I actually have not been gas stealing at all lately. So
Look at you.
I know.
Mr. Virtue Protoss over here.
I had to virtue signal to everybody that's watching right now. So I'm going to ask you this instead of trying to speculate here. What is the next step for the Protoss that you find to be most exploitative on this? I mean, do you want... Because in my head, I would think I want to tech into Reavers eventually here because there should be less tanks out. Or is it just you want to tech up and get more gateways and rely on the fact that the factories are later overall?
Well, I think you want to go ranged Dragoons and pressure the front a little bit, and I think it's totally fine to go into Reavers. The thing is, the Terran almost has to go for Engineering Bay. And when they pretty much have to go for Engineering Bay, and especially if they go siege with that, taking a third Nexus is so strong. Like, as soon as you see a turret, that third Nexus needs to be going down because the turret is the least offensive thing you can see early game from Terran. If they have a turret, that's because they're not sure what you're doing, or they are sure what you're doing. Okay. Either way, they can't really attack you because it's something that flies or something that's cloaked.
So in this case, we have the Nexus finishing up here. And it's going to be Dragoons with range coming out. There is one Zealot here to kind of mix in. It's pretty common nowadays to get one Zealot if you're against Protoss or Terran. Mm-hmm. Just because for micro purposes, it is a much greater complexifier overall. And there's a lot more little tricks you can do with that. So we have the first factory coming down and the second factory shortly after that. as the tech from Terran is coming out a little bit later.
Yeah, this will be very interesting to see how they both bend around with this build, because this is very much already in the freestyle range because of the opening. There's not exactly fixed builds. There's general ideas basically of what you do in these situations. But for instance, right now it looks like Light is mostly treating this like a gasless expand, which obviously it is a gasless expand in this case. But yeah, going into the quick 2 factories, very likely to see him get some Vulture upgrades and try to be on the map a bit. Whereas with Rain, we're not entirely sure yet, right? He has 2 gates. It's the only tech I've seen.
So let me pick your brain a little bit more here now. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, he's going to run the Zealot in here to scout. I absolutely love this.
Yeah. Tanks a bunch of damage with the Dragoon shields. Look at that. Pulls it back. Sees the 2 factories.
Ooh, 4 factory, and he forced a cancel there because a 4 factory push is pretty...
It's deadly.
Really strong. Yeah, I mean, you can barrel through there and really punish. And a lot of times that's before the Protoss has been able to scout. So this Zealot sack here, to come in here and just get an idea of what's going on, has paid off in dividends.
Yeah, it's actually truly amazing. And now he's going to have range. And look at this. We have a Vulture out, right? Where's Siege Mode? If he's going 4 fact, his Siege Mode is very, very late. He's going to spend a lot of time repairing this bunker.
So now he's going to hit the bunker. Now, for the layman, they might look at this and say, yeah, but I mean, don't the SCVs just repair? What does this do? That's a lot of SCVs not mining, and that's a lot of money going into repair.
Yeah, repair is more expensive than people think it is.
Yeah.
Look at this. With 2 more Dragoons coming up, if he snipes this first siege tank, that could put him in a position that it is very difficult for Light to fight his way out of.
This barracks is very intentionally positioned to interfere with the AI actually hitting the bunker, by the way. It's actually a really cool little trick because it's hard to get the Dragoons exactly in range where you want them to be. And it doesn't look like Terran's going to overextend with his tank. So
he knows that if he loses that tank, the game might just kind of end.
Okay, so siege mode's done here. He'll get 1 shot.
Beautiful placement. Beautiful placement. Oh my god.
Oh my god. This is such a good trick here.
Okay.
I don't know if that was really worth it, but...
Well, that was one of those moves where you pull your SCVs back, assuming they won't do that, because there's no way that should ever work, and we see that it does not work. But that was scary for a moment.
Yeah, I suppose if that bunker's not remade, because a lot of times you don't put the Marines in with a push, because you want to have something there to deal with counterattacks when you are pushing. Maybe having that destroyed is more handy in the long run. I don't know. Yeah,
he doesn't care that it's gone now. He has enough units. It is really not that impactful, and it does open up the rotation of units a bit more. But look at this. Light is playing truly a beautiful game right now as well. Like, Rain is playing pretty flawlessly, I would say. But the fact that Rain, or rather Light, is so on top of it, right? He went into 2 factory afterwards. He was going to go 4 fact, insta-cancels, realizing that is not going to work, gets into a siege mode, and now takes the 3rd base immediately after holding that little pressure. This is exactly what he needs to do to stay in this game. If he was doing like anything else right now, I would be, writing his Game 1 obituary about, Light died this day on a very even TVP map, match point.
Now,
and I would post that to the Onion.
Now, we have something pretty unique here tech-wise from Rain. He went for Reaver tech. And this is as the 3rd base was being made. So this is a very, very uncommon time to tech into Reaver. It used to be that after the 2nd base was done and had not been attacked anymore, and this was, maybe even a decade ago, this was more common. It was always a surprise to have a Reaver, sometimes even 2 shuttles fly in and do damage. Now this is on the 3rd base. A late Citadel and a Forge coming in here. Keep in mind, guys, turrets were never made here to defend. Again, Light has basically discounted the possibility of a Reaver, and that's pretty normal, even at the highest level of play. You would mostly expect Arbiters for 1, and then the second would be Carriers, although they're not as strong on this map, especially in the way that this game has developed. So let's watch for this Reaver drop that comes in here. This could kill a lot of SCVs.
Yeah, it really does have a lot of potential because of how late it is. As you said, and where he put the Reaver tech itself, we've been hearing scans, but I don't think that they've hit that actual location, They're looking in more common areas, and that's just, kind of the randomness of it sometimes.
I also want to see if he gets shuttle speed with this. I'm always intrigued by late Reaver play. Now, here we go. Note he comes right in on top. And he even brings the Dragoons in for a second to try to draw the screen away. And the Reaver damage is coming down. That is huge. A lot of damage done right there.
8 kills on the first Scarab. Oh my god, that's so much damage. And now he has the speed as well. Look at this, the Dragoons coming around the other side. No turrets in the main base.
Again, these SCVs completely undefended. Another shot comes in. Will it connect? It got hooked over there on top of the command center. Meanwhile, the Dragoons are going to try to push in here. These siege tanks, very well placed, will drive that away.
Yeah, those are beautifully placed depots as well. That actually saved the day, those depots.
Now, although Terran survives, this did delay the much more important late game tech for Protoss, Arbiters, or Carriers. So, yes, SCVs were killed, but can Rain, can he manage to navigate this to the proper lead? We see the Arbiter tech is coming.
Yeah.
Protoss does have a supply lead and is taking a 4th base, but I do wonder if in the long run we're going to see this with a big Terran push, if Rain might still get run over. You know, it's not just having the Arbiters out, it's having a certain number of them out that allows you options. And it's not as many options as one might think. You know, the difference between 2 Arbiters and 1, or 2 Arbiters and 3 Arbiters is huge.
Yeah, it's certainly true. I would say overall, I think the Reaver definitely did as much as it needed to do to kind of be worthwhile. But
dude.
It's not. Oh, okay. He gets that one Reaver.
Oh!
That's a dud.
Had that connected.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
Big impact there.
Yeah. So, I mean,
whoa.
3 speed shuttles coming in now.
That's the game plan then. All right. He wants to super bombard this area. I don't know if it's going to succeed. There seems to be a pretty incredible spread of siege tanks here.
Yeah, the macro of light has been on point this game.
But the fact that the Vultures were also placed over here to cover the tanks, had those tanks been naked, or maybe just 1 or 2 turrets over them, that position would have been completely wiped out.
Yeah, well, this game, Light, the amount that Light does not want to make turrets is amazing. Like, he is so anti-turret this game, it's crazy. Even after seeing Speed Shuttle, he's like, no, this is not happening. No turrets. But, I mean, we see it is biting him in the butt just a little bit. Not that a single turret's going to do too much against 3 speed shuttles. But Rain, you know, he's getting in there. He's mixing it up a little bit. Taking that 4th base at this point.
Okay, so some more Vultures come up here. Beginning to hit this location in the bottom right. This was a fresh expansion that was just taken. Now hitting these probes is huge.
Yeah, doesn't get as many as he wanted there, but not too bad. Not too bad. He's got to do something right now.
And this is actually an ideal number of Vultures for the amount of damage he really did there. It wasn't an overextension. Sometimes you'll see players take 8 or 9, something crazy, and set him up. But Light's a very precise player. The Factory Explosion has started, as is the Gateway Explosion here for Protoss.
Yeah, and you can even see, looking at the top right, Light's macro is super, super on point this game. He has been killing it. He's been keeping his supply as high as he possibly can. His money is super low. Rain with a little bit more of a bank, no big problem there. He will get rid of that. But I think that what I'm nervous about here for Light, he does have the 2-1. His push is not quite ready. 130 supply is not a real number you would really push at in this situation, I feel like. But yeah, he needs to do something relatively soon, because the Arbiters are going to be very scary. Like I was saying, and it wasn't jokingly, stopping recall on this map is insanely hard.
I also like, just to go back a little bit here, the way that we saw the Reaver come out early on, and he parlayed that into almost like a mini recall with massive amounts of shuttles flying around and hitting softened locations in the Terran's defenses.
No, it's a great move. A lot of people do like to do moves like that after Reaver if you get that speed shuttle. It's not that expensive to get a few more, and it's very hard to gun them all down in time, you know?
Okay, here we go. Another dive in over here, this time at the natural Reavers. And Zealots and Dragoons coming in here. And SCVs, they just can't be pulled in time. And it looks like there's enough shuttles he can probably do damage and maybe even pick up and go elsewhere here on the map. And that he will. He's going now down towards the main. Just a Wraith. Oh, my. I just choked. That was an incredible. Oh, my God, there's another Reaver in here. That was an incredible mine hit that we just saw back there.
Well, this was pretty good by Rain again, I would say. You know, he didn't do that much with it, but he is maxed out. He's killing off some units. He's killing off some SCVs. He has his 4 bases. He has his Arbiter tech up. The one thing that Rain really does have going for him, though, he hasn't been broken. He's got his 2-1. I imagine that 3-2 is on the way. He has his 4th command center. So, you know, that like if he can just live through a few more attacks and max out, he could be in good shape.
Okay, a pretty decent stasis there.
Yeah, that's
but
a 6 stasis.
Is this actually enough to break this, though? It looks like there's not much else. Sometimes we move his screen away and there's more tanks here. But in this case, no. Absolutely 100% Rain will dominate this position. And this could not have been a better stasis now that I look at it. I mean, the vessel, the tanks there. And what's great about this is not only, there it is, GG. Not only can he freeze that position, but he can push in there into the 3rd. And I got to say, man, Rain, this is the Rain we're used to seeing. He bends time and space to defeat his opponent.
Yeah, well, he played a nice game there. The late Reaver definitely caught him off guard, and then going into you know, the 3 speed shuttles, just running those around, and the kill move with that beautiful stasis. That was like you could not have gotten a better stasis.
I really wonder when Bisu comes back how he compares to Rain, because Rain looks so unbelievably good.
Bisu's back, and he's very, very good right now.
I've been watching him play.
Yeah, so
he's good, man. But I'll tell you something, Rain. I mean, some of these games, it's the next level of Protoss. We have not seen Protoss this good. It's insane.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good.
I mean, that certainly wasn't the way that Snow tends to play this matchup, but Rain comes in with his own style and completely and totally dismantles Light. By the way, best trophy in esports right there. Quick reminder. Someone fact check me. You won't find a better one.
Yeah, so again, though, you know, that was map 1. It was a strong win from Rain.
안녕하세요. 이번에 13년 만에 첫 결승 진출하게 된 이재호입니다. 반포기 상태였는데 이번에 운이 좋게도 이제 기회가 찾아와가지고 기분이 굉장히 남다르고요. 20대 때 못했던 개인 리그의 결승을 밟아본다는 게 참 꿈만 같습니다. A, B, C조에 비해서는 엄청 좋다고 생각을 했고요. 제가 자신 있어 하는 저그전이 있었고 테란 대 테란도 박지수 선수랑 있었기 때문에 8강은 갈 것 같았어요. 그전 시즌들에도 좋은 상황들이 있긴 했는데 좀 제가 준비를 잘 못했던 것도 있는 것 같고 좀 뭐 결과론적으로 얘기하면 준비를 잘 못했던 것 같아요. 그래서 이번에 준비할 때는 조금 더 독하게 준비를 했던 것 같고요. 이상하게 그날따라 이제 수싸움에서 제가 많이 밀리는 바람에 허무하게 지면 이건 더 안 되겠다 싶어서 좀 끈덕지게 물고 늘어져가지고 역전을 했거든요. 그래서 그거를 이기고 나니까 이제 좀 편해졌던 것 같아요. 뭐 제동이를 떠올린 적은 한 번도 없고요. 그냥 사실 대회 때 프로토스한테 떨어진 것보다 저그한테 떨어진 게 많거든요, 최근에. 뭔가 이미지는 저그를 만나면 안 질 것 같은 이미지인데 저그한테 많이 떨어져서 이번 시즌은 좀 달라진 모습을 보여주고 싶어서 제가 안 하던 스타일도 많이 연습을 했고 결과로 나와가지고 그게 너무 기분이 좋습니다. 4강을 확정 지었을 때도 그런 감정이 있긴 했는데 조금 자제를 했었고 근데 결승을 확정 짓고 나니까 그 지난 10년 넘게 도전했던 그런 세월들이 떠오르면서 순식간에 여러 가지 감정이 교차를 하더라고요. 그래서 저도 모르게 약간 눈물이 많이 쏟아졌던 것 같아요. 우승까지 해야 주인공이 된다고 생각을 하고요. 준우승하면 여태까지 그랬던 것처럼 조연 느낌이 날 것 같아서 이번 시즌 좀 욕심을 많이 내고 있고 그만큼 준비를 더 열심히 해가지고 우승할 생각입니다. 다들 결승 진출한 거에 대해서 축하해주는 분위기고 결승전이라는 제일 큰 이벤트가 남았기 때문에 그 경기를 이기고 나야지 이제 후련할 것 같아요. 그래서 꼭 우승해가지고 개인 리그 커리어에 이제 정점을 한번 꼭 찍어보고 싶습니다. 결승까지 올라오는데 너무 오랜 시간이 걸려서 저를 응원해주셨던 팬분들께 너무 죄송하다는 말씀 먼저 전하고 싶고요. 힘든 상대지만 꼭 준비 열심히 해가지고 우승하는 모습 보여드리도록 최선을 다하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Rooting for that guy, man.
Yeah, how can you not after seeing that? But again, Rain, that was a very unorthodox PvT. The gas steal into very conservative expanding.
I think he played it really
into
well.
Shuttle, yeah, into Shuttle Reaver, and then Mass Shuttle to break positions. Match Point is a pretty big map, and every once in a while there just is a weakness. If you have 3 or 4 shuttles, you can just hit a certain location. And that can happen way quicker than Arbiter play can even.
Yeah, and it kind of sets up into Arbiter play quite well as well.
It's like you get your recalls before your first recall even happened in a lot of ways.
Yeah. a very small recall, but definitely you are right about that. It's a good map for that type of play anyways, with all those kind of like locations that you can't see over for them when they come in. They just kind of appear in your base, which is why it's so hard to play against stuff like that or Arbiters.
We're going to go to blockchain for game number 2.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to see this map as early as we're seeing right now.
Yeah, the feeling for a long time is that this was very Protoss favored, but last showed us the way, kind of, and how it is winnable for Terran. I'll be interested to see what Light has, though. Does he have a special build, or is he going to play it in the predictable way, like 2-base timing type push?
Winnable for Terran, maybe, as you said last showed us, but winnable versus Rain, that's a whole other beast. Our 2 players are ready. They have joined up in the lobby. Again, this is the finals of the KSL, a best of 7. Rain winning game 1 on match point. Now we go to game 2 on blockchain.
Man, that Rubik's Cube looks like what 90s movies thought the keys would look like in 2020.
Yes. Okay, Rain in the upper right, Light in the upper left. Now, a couple of important features to point out on this map. For one, you can connect the 4 corners of the map. You connect all the edges of the map, I should say, together, or you can lock them out. There's a way to mine through with minerals. You can. They're already open up to some level, assuming you've mined out the little mineral patch that also blocks off that area. Or you can destroy geysers and lock people out. Now, that can play a big role, especially in Terran versus Protoss, where, especially for the Terran, island-esque locations are harder to take back from Protosses.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Like, dropships cost gas, and they don't move as fast as shuttles. So it's really difficult to actually get enough to do anything. And Dragoons are very versatile in that type of situation as well. So island-type play kind of favors Protoss, especially with how strong their air fleet is. Like, carriers are ridiculous on this map if you get up to a certain amount. But there are counterplay builds for Terran.
So it seems like Terran wants to seize this game before it gets too much into the Protoss' hands in the late game. Is that correct?
I think that on this map, as Terran, you are looking to hit a very specific timing attack, and that's it. I think you get one awesome push on this map, and then it's over one way or the other.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously, sometimes we'll see people do rushes on this map. For instance, as Terran, we've seen some strong 2-factory play and stuff. I think that can be a little bit risky. But, for instance, 2-base, 2-1 timing pushes with 7-factory was a very popular build. It was literally invented, refined by Flash because of this map. Because there needed to be something to beat Protoss because it was so impossible. But, you know, with builds like that, it's not impossible. Like, you definitely can do it. Now, here it looks like Light is going to be going for a gasless expand. We'll see if Rain makes a Zealot or not. I think he will.
Rain is now going to go up towards the top. Both these players did not scout each other very early on here. Now, gasless expand can be punished by that proxy robo, right?
Yeah,
but
it can be. Yeah.
I don't know if this game sets itself up for that. The proxy robo is where you make a Reaver out of the viewing spot of the natural, and then you push in and blow the bunker up. And usually it's like the Terran's glass jaw at that point in time. The game just about ends.
Well, unfortunately for Rain, he actually... Oh, he gets up the ramp. That's huge. It's huge.
Yeah. Now he's going to be able to scout this.
Yeah.
Well, he needs to...
because otherwise, like, now he actually has the... Well, he didn't actually scout over to the side,
I'm
which
a little
is
bit
fine.
surprised by this.
Yeah. But now, you know, the Proxy Reaver probably won't happen because he doesn't actually know what build order it is as of yet. The Zealot will get here and figure it out, but that makes it a little bit late for that play you were mentioning.
Now, that play is now zoned out, but the Zealot's going to come in here, put a little bit of pressure on. I think when the Marines are pulled away, maybe we want Well, no, he's going to try to push up a little bit further here.
Yeah. Ooh, that micro, the SCV actually moving a little bit too far out of the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there is a second Zealot in the way, and 2 of those Marines are very, very low. He needs to pull another SCV down.
I want to see what's going on back at home for Protoss here. I'm very curious about the tech choice because we don't have a Nexus coming down yet. And, you know, the command center's already started here. And so this bunker is going to finish in the nick of time.
Ooh. All right, well, at least he has enough here that he can just push that right back. Okay, so everything seems very safe. I believe we'll just see a Nexus here.
This seems to be less than ideal right now for Rain here.
Yeah.
His Nexus is going to start just now.
He got like 1 SCV. I mean, obviously the factory's going to be a little bit slower. He had to make a lot of Marines, and, you know, that bunker very, very early. But
now, Artosis was mentioning early on that a lot of times for the Terran, this is going to come down to one very significant push because the way this map is constructed, it's easy for Protoss, even in disadvantages as the game carries on, to escape and make expansions in locations that are just very difficult for the Terran to reach with an actual push. You can kill a Protoss by pushing into the main, just like you can with a Zerg, assuming they don't have gateways and other spawn locations. But already, I would say this is setting up for a pretty healthy push here from Terran, especially because we saw the CC was set up way earlier than the Nexus was.
doesn't get much of a scout off there. Starport on the way here for Light. Yeah, I mean, I like the opening so far for him. I'm not sure what his real plan is with that. I think that he will probably blindly make a Wraith is my guess, just because this map is so unbelievably good for Reaver, for shuttle play. Yeah, I mean, overall, I would say the opening a bit better for Light. And the fact that he gets in and sees that Robo, oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is always a relief for the Terran to just scout and see what direction the game's going in. Protoss tech, you know, if you don't know what's coming, it could be very scary, but if you spot it, nothing techs out very fast. DTs take a long time. A Robo takes a long time to even finish. Arbiters take a long time. Carriers take a long time to get to where the tech itself is a threat. I guess DTs can be probably come out quicker than the other stuff, but if you spot like a Citadel, then you just know.
Yeah.
So to scout that early on is really nice here for Light. And right now, Light needs a victory because Rain's up 1-0. And let's not forget that, you know, if Rain gets a 2-0 lead and then that goes to a 3-0 lead, I don't think Light's going to be able to take this. So the next 2 games are extremely important. Rain already mentioned in game, I'm sorry, but before the games even started, he mentioned in an interview that the first game is always the most important, a best of 7. We've heard that from a lot of different players, and right now he has that win. So this game, again, looking decent here for Light. Not too much has happened yet, but Light needs that win in this series.
Oh, my God, look at that scan.
Wow.
He just scanned the Templar Archives. So definitely Rain was planning on doing a DT drop here.
Yeah.
And I think probably into Arbiter tech.
Yeah, and by the way, the DT drop, kind of like the Reaver tech that we saw in the last game, is not generally one of the better techs to go for off 2 bases because it slows everything else down. But if you see it, it's great. Now this, good decision to turn around with that dropship.
Yeah, well, DT drop has gained a little bit of popularity back lately just because it's so bad that no one did it for a long time. And then, you know, that can make something good again. But a great scan. Look at this. He's actually maneuvering in his dropship. Gets 2 speed vultures in here. Let's see how many probes he gets. Already got 1. 2 probes. Oh, beautiful building placement.
Good.
See, this is part of the reason why Rain is so strong. He literally only needed to put down 1 building to make it vulture-proof. Most Protosses right now would be down 7 probes.
Yeah, I almost wonder if the building placement is very intentional here.
Yes, it is. He does. I see him do that a lot. That exact thing where he has 1 building hole, and he just makes it as soon as he sees a drop.
Because that blocks so perfectly, and that's exactly where Terran want to go. They want to get up there and then plant mines, and then, you know, the observers are slower. And hold on a second. Is he going to skip out of? Is that an Arbiter Tribunal?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So that is a really smart play. He's going to go into Arbiters here.
Yeah.
He's going to skip the DT drop since it was already scouted.
You know, normally carriers are considered a little bit stronger on this map, but that's kind of the funny part of the metagame of it is that these, like, 2 base pushes are very strong against carrier, And what's the counter to them? It's actually Arbiter plus High Templar.
Right.
So Psystorm and Stasis are fantastic against them. So Rain is going to play more of a ground-based army here. Obviously, Arbiters are still super strong on the map, but it's not like Carriers where if they get to a certain amount, you just die. You know?
Yeah, Carriers.
Like you get 4 Carriers on this map and they're not in your natural. Okay, that's it. You know?
No, the Carriers are especially strong, especially in these spots right here. So a nice snipe here. Takes out the 1 observer.
Yeah, quite a few factories going up right now.
And so this is the 2-base setup. Now, it's inevitable that the Terran's going to try to take a 2-base push here. Oh, almost gets the block off. But I don't think this is going to do much more here. This is just Terran trying to control the empty space here so that Protoss can't just take another expansion too easily.
Yeah, it looks
crazy.
like he cleans it up. He's cleaned up all the drops really, really well so far. And let's see, like, I don't think that he's planning on going for any command centers or anything. Like, he's on 6 factory right now. Sometimes with the starport, you can go up to 5 factory before your 3rd command center, but when you see the 6 here, this is pretty clearly going to be a big push.
When this push comes out, if Terran can get in front of the pylon wall and siege up, Protoss is going to have a lot of problems. If you just siege up in the natural, the ramp here is very small to get out of for the Protoss, and if you cage them in and begin to hammer them with artillery, it's really hard to deal with.
It's funny because the map itself is large, but the passageways to walk down are actually very, very small. So ground-based armies, if it's ground-based armies fighting each other in this map, generally Terran has an advantage. So he's going to bring this push right out. And, I mean, looking at the supplies and the number of production structures, I feel like this is pretty good for Light. I think he can actually maybe do it here. It's going to come down a lot to tactics here from Rain.
Okay, Light's coming down now. Again, these bridges, another interference here as far as fluidity with your ground army. He's got a nice setup. Supplies are actually a little bit frighteningly close here, considering the position that Terran's in.
Yeah. No, this is good for Terran in this type of situation, but when Stasis comes up, that's going to be a big moment. When Speed finishes for the Zealots, that's a big moment. Notice how Rain has a group down at the bottom. He's trying to do something here tactically. Find units that are, poorly positioned. Pick something off. Because he needs to do that. This push is just so deadly.
Okay, now he does not have enough energy here for Stasis just yet. Although Rain wants to try to dive in, which I think is ill-advised, especially with all the Zealots getting destroyed. Basically taking out a tank or 2, but, I mean, this is going to be really hard for Rain, man. I think it might have enough for Stasis now.
I think he's actually going to break through. Look at that. The Zealots are dancing on each other. Oh, okay, they stopped. He's got to lay some mines down here, though.
Okay,
more and more
Stasis
vultures
ready.
coming up.
These 4 tanks here would be
huge.
ideal to hit.
Oh, if he gets those 4 tanks, I think he can just break it immediately.
He's doing a great job using the Arbiter at the right distance to try to get a Zealot in to soak up mine hits. Now, Rain has to be insanely patient here.
Oh, my God.
If he can cast
he's going to get that Stasis. Right?
I mean, there's no vessel out, right?
There's no vessel with this.
Vesselless push.
Ooh, that mine! It got like 5 vultures or something. Very nice mine. There's a lot, though. He needs to spread those tanks just a little bit more.
The insane patience here by Rain, by the way. Not pulling the trigger yet.
Yeah, by Light as well.
Yeah.
Light is not panicking. He's not moving forward too quickly.
He's once again going to try to send one more Zealot through, I think.
Oh.
I guess actually the turrets are done.
Is he rallying any new tanks, or is he only making vultures? Like, we're only on 6 tanks in this push.
I'm a little bit worried now because he might have zoned himself out of success with this push. Protoss is not going to attack until he absolutely has to. Look at this. I love it. 1 Zealot with the Dragoons in the control group to run in there with the mines.
Yeah.
Everything else is there to hit the mines that we're seeing here.
All right, it looks like he's going to start to jump forward here a little bit.
Is that the 2nd Arbiter? Where's the first one?
Yeah, the first one's at the bottom.
Down. Okay, got it.
He does have that 3rd base up as well. Rain's macro really hitting it this game. Let's see, he's trying to clear some of those mines. Finally, a vessel does come out.
He's so good at doing this.
Ooh, this could be kind of a cute move here. I'm not sure how many units are in the 3rd base. I don't think any are.
I think it's a misclick on the mini map there.
Look at this. He's purposely trying to push that back right now because he knows that any drop in there could be deadly. Oh, I would love to see him just drop a couple vultures off in there.
Yeah, he's going to scramble to make cannons there. Man, had he dropped right then, assuming that was full of vultures?
Oh my God, do you see this? Do you see this?
What?
Because Rain is taking so long to do anything, he actually thinks it's a recall, but it's truly not.
Yeah, no, this
or
is
maybe it is. Is that a? Do we see an Arbiter flying around?
There's not.
No, I think there is.
12 o'clock, there's nothing there.
Look, there it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's actually down here at the bottom.
Yeah, okay, so he actually did read that correctly because it was like taking so long. Oh no, he is going to recall right there. That's not a very good recall.
Shoddy recall here.
Yeah, no, he's going to wreck that. Look at that.
You know, recall can win you the game, but it can also lose you the game. And this was a case where the recall was into the jaws of the Terran army.
Yeah, there was a recall there, and one of the Arbiters took a ton of damage. I believe the high-energy Arbiter with more health was left over there, or is it coming back? I guess it's coming back now. Well, now he can reinforce his push, and look at how close those supplies are. I mean, that's very good here for Light, for Lucifer Morning S.
Well, the second recall, though. Now, there's not much energy at all. I think there's literally none here for spells.
Oh, my God. He's actually hitting the army that's about to get recalled.
Okay, here we go. Now, there are... Okay, that is an insanely large recall.
Yeah, that's a big one. But great scanning. The mines have some good connections there as well. And I think he's going to hold that pretty well.
I think Rain is not going to make it this time around. And
GG.
there it is.
All right.
GG.
Wow, ourselves a series.
Hell yes, 1-1. And on the map traditionally viewed as Protoss favored, Light elects to take that after his first loss and crushes through against Rain.
Yeah.
The most dominant player in the last 2 years of StarCraft 1.
You know what's funny is you were saying those 4 siege tanks, he's going to stasis that. He almost has stasis energy,
Dude,
and then you didn't do it.
I think had he stasis that, we would have already been in game 3
well,
right
now.
now.
He went recall first, clearly. Right? So
is that what you think it is?
Yeah.
I almost feel like
100%, because
no matter
he could have
what,
broken that.
It would seem to me like no matter what, if you're going to be 2-base pushed, you can't capitalize on recall then.
Well, yeah, it hits before the recall, right? But
yeah.
Well, this was a different 2-base push, too, because he went quick starport and the drops didn't do much. So it was actually slightly weaker than most 2-base pushes.
Yeah, I guess he didn't have the vessel out and some other stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I totally see what you're saying, because the 2-base push actually wrecks quick recall if it's streamlined. But anyways, this was really well played on both sides, I feel like.
Yes. There was a lot more to that game than just 2-base powering, that's for sure. By the way, the immediate decision to back up and plant the mines, I think the biggest mistake there goes to Rain with the recall on top of the tanks and vultures at the natural.
That was a poor recall.
That sometimes it's better to just not recall. No decision to go for shuttles, reavers, shuttle speed, anything like that. Just something to point out.